All right, guys, welcome to the next session. Today we are going to talk about the different layers in one project, right? In the last session, we saw that we had created one update API where we were updating the records, right? We had seen how do we copy the save API basically here and do the same thing here. Only thing is we'll be changing few mappings here. For example, instead of post mapping, we are going to use put mapping, and we'll have a different method for that. Okay, and we just kept it very simple. Today what we're going to do is we are not going to use this controller class directly to interact with our repository class. We will be adding one more layer here in between, which will be a service layer. Okay, and in the service layer, generally we are going to handle our business logic. So let me just create one class and we will start implementing that from there. Okay, so if I just want to create one class here, and that class will be railway service, and the package we are going to use is service package for that. Okay, all right. Here, uh, the way we annotate this service is at the red service. Okay, now we'll start implementing some method here. And in fact, the idea is whatever request comes to our controller, that request should go to service class first. Okay, and service class will be now interacting with the repository class. So this repository class, right, this repo will take to our service. Okay, now let's add some methods here. For example, we'll add some method like public, and what we want to do is we want to send the railway model back, and let's say create records. So this is one, and it is expecting railway model. Let's say this is model, and then let me import this railway model. Come on. And then what we're gonna do is return. It will be the same thing that we did in the controller class, but with a little bit of modification. Okay, repo dot save, and then model. Similarly, we'll have one method for update as well, and it will be as simple as update records, and this is same thing, right? And here another method to fetch all the records, railway models, right? We'll be having a list here. Let me just import the list. Perfect. And here it will be railway model, list of railway model, and fetch records. Okay, and it doesn't need any parameters here. It will just ask for find all. Okay, so these are the things we had to do. Okay, now I'm just going to link my controller to this particular class, right? Instead of directly getting the data from the repo, what we are going to do is we are going to get data from railway service, and this will be service. Okay, and how do we do that? Here we are going to say get the data from the service now. Service dot fetch records. Perfect. And this will be service dot, what are the methods we have there? Create record. Perfect. And this will be service dot, we should be having something like update records. Yep. So this is perfectly fine. So now we'll just remove this unwanted import, and if we just go back to the service here, so now it should be doing all its job perfectly. So let me just restart this and see if everything is working fine and there is no failure. So, yep, this worked fine. Let me just check this with Postman as well. So let me just use get one. Let's see. So let's see. All the records are coming fine there. Yep. This is working fine. I'm sure this post and put is also working fine. So I'm not gonna check. Apart from this, right? I wanted to have one more API which will fetch data based on, let's say, train number. Okay. Let's just go there and build one more API, and we'll say that it will be simple get mapping, and we'll say by number, train by number. All right, and it is going to send only one train, and let's say get by number, and we'll say service dot get get train by number. And let's say here we are going to say, okay, we are going to expect, let's say, one integer here, and integer is number. Okay, and we are going to send that number, that train number. And basically this API I'm creating to fetch the train record by its number. So let's say here we have these train, right? We have, where is our get API? So I'm just going to send the train number in the request, and I'm expecting all these records to come back for that particular train number. All right. So that is what we want to do with this new API. Okay. Get by train number, and it says that we don't have any method there. So let me just create one method there, and it will be here, right? Control T, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna say repo dot find by find by number. What is the field name actually? We have we have to see what is the field name of that number. Find by train number. Yep. So we'll have to use as is there. Whatever the name is here, we will have to use the similar stuff there. So find by train number. Only thing is it will be in uppercase, the camel case basically. Find by train number, and here we are just going to send this number integer, and that will be all. Okay, and it is expecting, and here we can say there's no done here, and it is expecting one method to be created in railway repo, and we just created there. This is the first method we are creating in the railway repo, right? Earlier, all other method, if we just go back to the service, you see all these methods are inbuilt there, and this is the method that we are extra creating. So we can fetch the record by any of the attributes here that we have in the model, right? Only thing is we have to use that attribute as is there in our query basically. So this is our query, find by train number, and here we are going to provide the number. Okay, so let me just check this whether this works fine, and let me see if we have the complete thing ready in here. Let me just restart it and see if this particular API works fine. No, it is not working fine. So we have some issues here. Okay, let me just go back and see what is the issue here. The problem was this by here. So this B should be B capital. This B should be capital here. So that was the reason it was not able to create that particular query. So now I have made it capital. So let's try and run it now. Perfect. Now it is working fine. So we want to check that particular query now. So this is train by number. And one thing is how we want to send this one, right? So what are the things we have? If we just go here, right? What are the parameters we can send here basically? If we just go by, instead of going for the request body, we can go for something different also. For example, if we just go to some params and we'll see what are the param we have. The request param. Yep, request param. Okay. So in request param, we are going to send number, and that number we will be sending this. Okay. So in the request param, in the request parameter, we are going to send this particular number. Okay, number and what is the value of it. So let me just restart it, and let me just copy it. By the time this service comes up, we'll just do some experiment here. So this is kind of a get API. Yep. All right. Let me just duplicate that. Okay, and instead of this, we should be having this train by number get. We don't have anything like okay, here in params, right? Number we are going to send. What are the numbers we have? If we just go back and see what are the numbers we have this number, right? Okay, number, and this is the value. And let me see if the application has come up. Yep, it has come up. And let me, oops. Okay, it is going to sound like this. Yep, yeah, perfect. Double it, right? And send it. And we get that record back here. Okay. So guys, today we did uh, two things. One thing was we just created one more layer, which is our service layer here. So our controller layer will be communicating to service layer, and service layer will be communicating to our repository layer, and repository layer will be communicating finally to our database. Okay. So that was the first item we did today. Second item that we did today was we added one more API which we are going to use in future. Okay, I'll tell you how we're going to use this API in the future, but right now what this API does is it will fetch the records based on the number, and this is a train number here. So we are asking it to get train records by train number. Okay, so that was the purpose of this API, and we'll see in the future how we're going to use this API into our application. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching this channel till now, and see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.